Very good day, my dear students. Nice to meet you with this video in which we are going to discuss about improper axis of rotation, which is the following up of my earlier video on symmetry operations. In that video, we have seen the concept of improper axis of rotation, but since the examples were not sufficient, I prefer to give an exclusive video for this, and there we go inside this improper axis of rotation. It is an imaginary axis which is composed of rotation followed by reflection in the plane perpendicular to the rotating axis. So once again, I think you can follow along with me. It is an imaginary axis which is composed of rotation followed by reflection in the plane perpendicular to the rotating axis. The above figure will explain you better. In this tetrahedral molecule, this is a C4 axis of rotation, and if you are going to rotate the molecule in this axis, you get an appearance which is not exactly matching with your molecule. But once you reflect it in this plane, which is perpendicular to this C4 axis of rotation, and hence it is called as horizontal plane. So reflection on the horizontal plane is giving you an image which matches exactly with your initial image. So the combination of C4 and sigma H is called as S4 axis of symmetry. So this particular molecule, tetrahedral molecule, is having a S4 axis of symmetry. So you can represent the axis of improper axis of, hence it is a S4 axis of symmetry, which is a combination of C4 axis and sigma H. Now we will go to the next example. This will make you more clear. In this molecule, we will see if there is a S6 improper axis of rotation or not. This is a benzene molecule, which you very well know, and this is a planar molecule which has a C6 axis of symmetry at its center. Now you may ask, how do we find out if it is a C6 axis of symmetry? If you are not clear at this point, please go and see my first video, which is on axis of symmetry. So to make it very brief, I just will tell you how I say this axis of symmetry is a C6 axis of symmetry. Now, if I am going to rotate this molecule through this C6 axis, this particular axis, then I get identical image after every 60 degree of rotation. So if I am going to divide 360 divided by 60 will be my 6. So I name this axis as C6 axis of symmetry. So another way of finding out the axis of symmetry is if you rotate this molecule through this particular axis, I get the identical appearance 6 times. So this axis becomes a C6 axis of symmetry. So this after performing one C6 axis of symmetry, and if I am going to reflect this molecule in the plane that is perpendicular to this C6 axis of symmetry, I get an identical image similar to this. So this particular molecule has S6 axis of symmetry, which is a combination of C6 followed by a sigma H. So you can see how the C6 results in the dislocation or the movement of 6 to 1 position and 1 to 2 position and 2 to 3 position, and on reflection you get this molecule in the inverse. All the balls are reversed. So you have this molecule which is looking exactly similar to that of this molecule, and so benzene possesses S6 axis of symmetry. Now let us see if the molecule allene has some improper axis of symmetry. So you just carefully watch the particular animation that is performed here. So you can see that this particular molecule allene is, if you imagine a C4 axis and rotate it in this C4 axis, you get this image which is looking very different from that of this. But once if you are going to rotate this particular image, this particular structure uh, in the plane perpendicular to this plane, then you get a molecule which has exactly the same appearance as that of the initial. Let me make it once again. The C4 axis of symmetry that runs here. Why I call it a C4? Because it performs 90-degree rotation. See, you can imagine in your mind, if I am going to perform a 90-degree rotation, I will get an image similar to this. And this is not similar to this. So, I don't have C4 axis for this particular molecule. But if I have a plane that is lying at this particular point and I am going to reflect this molecule, I get this image which is looking very similar to that of the initial image. Therefore, C4 when performed alone is not giving an identical image, but when performed C4 performed along with sigma h is giving an identical image. Therefore, that particular operation is designated as S4 and allenes have S4 axis of symmetry. I think the concept would have become a little more clear for you. Now, let us go to our plates PowerPoint and now this particular, let us imagine this particular molecule. See here there is an image that shows two hands inverse and two hands, forearms and two hands are exposed arms. And you perform a 90-degree rotation followed by reflection. This gives an exact image. So this particular molecule or this particular geometry has S4 axis of symmetry. And now it's a food for your thought. Now just let us reflect over whatever we have seen till now, and you can just sit down and see this image very relaxed and see if you can find out any axis, improper axis of symmetry. You can take your time. Yeah, I think you have found it out. Let us look into the answer. Yeah, you can see a central C4 axis of symmetry, and if you perform C4 axis again, you have that C4 axis because the image that is generated out of a C4 axis is looking very exactly same as that of your molecule. And if you're going to perform a reflection over this particular plane, that is a sigma h that lies perpendicular to your C4, then also you get an exact image that is looking as your starting image. Therefore, this molecule has both the C4 axis and also S4 axis of symmetry. Now, if you have really identified the improper axis of symmetry, pat on your back and enjoy the class. Now, this is the end of this particular video, and now I would like to tell you that improper axis of symmetry is a very important symmetry element that is obtained by performing rotation over the proper axis of symmetry followed by reflection in the plane that is perpendicular to that particular axis of symmetry. And hope you would have enjoyed the class and you have assimilated the informations. Now in the next video you can see about the effect of performing consecutive successive operations. Thank you.